so many beautiful brains in this place today. Wow. Thank you. Gnoti Sealton, ancient Greek. Who knows what it means? Yes, please?
Know thyself.
Excellent, Chris. You deserve to graduate today. I congratulate you. Know thyself. Yes. This was written, I think, as an epigraph on the Delphi temple in Greek. But it has been attributed to Socrates, Heraclitus, Pythagoras, and probably at least 20 others. Doesn't matter. Know thyself. Crucial for all of us. That's what life is all about, but not only. By the way, if Socrates actually said that, think about it. Know thyself might be dangerous. Remember how he died. What does it take? What does it take to know yourself? Let's jump a bit in time. Reach 16th century Europe. Erasmus of Rotterdam. A human being is not born a human being, but becomes one. Now, we all have a fabulous potential in our brains, again, you know. Thanks to the great synaptic plasticity of our brains, we can learn anything at any time, and in fact, this is what we do. You may consider, dear graduates, that, well, you were here to learn, and you learned a lot. But probably the most important thing that you have learned so far is that you will never stop learning. Not only about yourself, obviously, but about the others. Which, by the way, almost amounts to the same. There is a dialectic relationship there. Remember, one can learn anything at any age. Isn't it beautiful? Because as the great Brazilian pedagogist of liberation, Freire, said, learning is humanizing. A human being is not born a human being, but becomes one. I remember one thing. When I was about your age, yes, at some stage I was about your age, believe it or not. You know, 35 years less. At the very least, 150 pounds less. 1 meter hair more. Okay, anyway. I had a great science teacher, and one day he said something in class that I found one of the most frightening things I could possibly imagine. He said, you know what? You are born with, and he gives a number, huge number, of neurons in your brain. And then, daily, on a daily basis, every single day of your life, you lose thousands of neurons. And they never come back. Ooh. Yeah, actually, that was one of the most frightening things I've ever heard when I was at school. I thought, well, does this mean that I'm getting more and more stupid with every day? And as you know very well, dear graduates, when you're a teenager, you just need to look around you to confirm this hypothesis very well. But fortunately, you find it funny today, but when we meet again a few years from now, well anyway now, the good news is that I don't blame my old science teacher. He was a great man. He couldn't know better, because back then, that's actually what science believed. Just at some stage, you know, we believed that the earth was flat. Now we know that it's very unlikely that the Earth is flat, even if in some exotic, eccentric countries, some, like the UK for instance, there is still a club of people who seem to believe that the Earth is flat. I have no problem with that personally. Become who you are. Werde, wer du bist, for those who speak German here. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, the great German writer of the late 18th and early 19th century. Become who you are. In order to become who you are, you've got to know yourself and you've got to know others. Knowing who you are, your identity, as you know very well in this place. I've been here only 2 weeks again, sorry for this, but enough to meet people, students, alumni, teachers, administrative staff, everybody involved, to know that this is probably one of the best places in the world that I have seen so far. And believe me, I've traveled a bit. Where people perfectly understand that knowing oneself, first of all, requires knowing others. Identity is defined by alterity or otherness. It's about I and you, us and them. A fish does not know what water is. An old Egyptian friend of mine told me that 30 years ago in Cairo. A fish does not know what water is. If you want to know what your water is, then change bowls, jump from one bowl to another. And then you will start to know what your water is. Well, here, given the fabulous diversity of backgrounds, cultures, languages, nationalities, whatever, you name it, you've already been confronted to a lot of waters. And I have good news for you. There are even more waters than you would believe. So, you were probably in the best place to learn about yourself because you were in the best place to learn about others. And the more you will learn about others, the more you will learn about yourself. The more you will discover the fabulous diversity of humankind, which you're already familiar with, the more you will discover the great commonalities that we all have. After all, yeah, we are all very different, culturally and individually. Again, neuroscience, if you don't mind. A human brain is a human brain, regardless of age, color, creed, whatever you want, culture. However, there is no such thing as two brains perfectly alike. That's what makes us unique. You will hit the road now, I suspect. The world out there is awaiting you. And as you know, as Laozi or maybe another Chinese philosopher said, the longest journey begins with a single step. My sense is that you were extremely lucky and privileged to have the first steps, or some of the first steps in this long journey of yours, here at UWCSEA East Campus. Beautiful place, I love it. If only there was a bubble on top of the campus for air conditioning to be everywhere. That would be the best place on earth for me, and I would stay here forever. Maybe actually because this place, Singapore, is so enthusiastic about innovation and something, you should make sure that people in charge of this city-state think about constructing a bubble over the whole city. Except for the airport, because that would be difficult for planes. But anyway, you are very well prepared for this long journey, for this long learning journey, to discover the world, to know thyself, know yourselves, know the others, change the world, make it a better place to live, using our beautiful diversities and our beautiful commonalities. Now look at what your predecessors have done with this planet. And when I say your predecessors, I include myself. Honestly, dear graduates, dear fellow human beings, it shouldn't be too difficult to make this planet a better place to live. I rely on you, and I'm awaiting you at Harvard, in Paris, in Germany, in South Africa, in South America, anywhere in the world. In the future, we'll meet again and work together. We'll connect our brains thanks to our commonalities and diversities. Thank you very much. Have a good learning journey.